and welcome to the Hill and Ponton video blog. I'm Matthew Hill, and here with me is Carol Ponton. Today we want to talk to you about unemployability or total disability due to individual unemployability, or IU as everyone knows it. We've written plenty about this on our blog, but essentially unemployability is a way to get 100% compensation where your disabilities don't necessarily combine to 100%. This is another way.
Remember, the one way that everybody knows about is your VA ratings have to add up to 100%. But remember, with VA math, that's very hard to do. So this is the way that most people who aren't working get 100%.
So as Carol just said, you've got to show that you can't work, but then also you have to have a disability where the combination of your disabilities equals 70%, with one disability equaling 40, or you have one disability equaling 60%. So for an easy one would be you had a back rating of 60% and you weren't working. At that point, you were eligible. Or you had PTSD at 50 and then a back at 30 or 40. That would be equaling 70%. Now, the trick in the details is that when you have the combo disabilities equaling 70%, you have to have one disability equaling 40. Mistake we see again and again is where vets think that disability has to be one disability. Same thing with the 60. It doesn't have to be a single rating. Instead, it can be, the VA allows for several different things. It can be of one body system, like orthopedic, if a veteran has two bad knees or they have a bad back, and
Right, they have a bad, specifically if they have a bad back and that causes radiculopathy or pain down either leg, you can combine those to get your 60%.
And your 40% to qualify when you have 70. Other ones are common etiology or a single event. So if a veteran was in an accident and again hurt their back, had migraines as a result, and had a bunch of scars, if all those ratings combine to 40 and they have a combined of 70, then they've met that threshold rating. Or if they all combine to 60, then that has met it as well. And Carol pointed to this in that if you have orthopedic or system-wide, but other ones are if you have a bilateral problem, or a,
the right and the left arm.
Right, or you have, you could have scars and arthritis of the elbow on one arm and then a broken wrist on the left arm, but the fact that they're bilateral is another way to do it. Something else that VA allows is if you have multiple disabilities occurred in action. So if you have shell fragment wounds, you have a TBI, you end up having kidney problems because it was punctured. If all of those combine to 60%, then again, that meets the threshold right there. If they combine to 40, and then there are other disabilities that get the veteran up to 70%, then they are then eligible. Was there any other ones you were talking about with this?
No, but if this sounds confusing to you, it is. And it's so confusing that we find the VA often misses this, and that means you're missing it. So this is something that you really need to check out. 100% is far more in the way of benefits than 90%. You're talking $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month. So this is worth your while to see if you qualify for this.
And as she said, we see mistakes again and again on the ratings, and it says, I believe, that, well, let me back up. Advocates a lot of times will just flat out say you have to have that 41 disability or you have to have that 60. But that's just not the case. And so if you find that you're in a situation where you cannot work due to your VA disabilities, the whole basis of the rating system for VA is how much does your disability keep you out of the workforce. So again, if you're not working because of your disabilities, you should understand right then and there you're eligible for 100% through unemployability. If for some reason your disabilities do not add up altogether or combine to the 70% or the 60%, you still are eligible for unemployability if it's those disabilities that keep you out of the workforce.
Right.
That's a much harder one because your case has to go through the central office. But the one we see a lot is migraines. The top rating for a migraine is 50%. And if the migraine's keeping you out of work, you deserve 100% through unemployability. But since you don't meet that magical number of 60 or combined 70, the VA is going to deny you again and again. And you just need to keep up and fight for that. And from there, you need good medical records from your doctor saying this is why you're out of the workforce.
And if you get those, you're going to win. So don't let them give you just 50%.
Well, that's it for this edition of our Veterans Disability blog. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again soon.